Okay, are we live? I think we are.
Yeah.
Hi there. Hi everyone. Again.
Hello.
Let's wait maybe just a few minutes to let people join and then we'll begin.
There are more coming. I thought it will be just like 4 of us.
We can talk this way, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Still nice company.
I don't know where. So Vlad, you're in Lisbon.
Oh yeah.
York, Danil.
I'm New
I'm on a
York.
Greek island, and it's
Oh.
7 o'clock in the evening here.
Oh wow. But you have
Oh.
light coming from the window. Is it still
Yeah. Well, I have water too. Sorry, it's 12 p.m. here.
It gets longer the older you get, Danil. It's like 4 days for me for a proper recovery now.
Oh. I wouldn't even start, I think, by this time. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's punishing with kids too, isn't it?
Why is it light coming from your window? I can see palms behind you, I think.
Oh yeah, it's still light. It's just after 7 in the evening, so it'll be dark in an hour. I promise.
Oh,
It's late here. It's not early morning drinking on my part.
nice. I don't know. Can we see if anyone is joining us here? Not here, right? Maybe on Discord. I will check if there are any people and we can start. Did you find some beautiful flowers in Thailand? I suppose they're completely different than in England. Yeah, Matt.
No, I'm in Greece.
Ah, in Greece, I saw
A
Thailand.
Greek island.
Ah, Greek island. I heard
Yeah.
Thailand. Okay.
No, not that far. But it's down south, Kos, which is very near Turkey. You can see Turkey just over the water there.
Oh wow.
Lots of wildflowers, but all very pretty, but and very intense in their colour, but very small generally. But it's quite windswept here, so I guess the smaller flowers survive better. They're hardier than a larger flower.
Yeah. Yeah. So I see that some people are joining us already, so I think we can slowly start. And hey there, I hope you are there. And it's great to have everyone here joining us. And today we will talk about breeding mechanics. And we have our artists, Matt and Danil, and Vlad, the product lead of OG.Art, here with us. I'm Asya, the head of content at OG.Art. And just before we start, I wanted to make a little teaser and to say that in the end of the stream, we have an announcement to make, and we will tell you about a new, completely new feature that our development team is now working on. And it's something we never told you about, but soon will be implemented. So about Heterosis reading, honestly, for me, it was a huge surprise to see like how quickly it took off, and that almost all the traits were already discovered in just 5 days, and there were thousands of readings and such an excitement in the community. And I wonder how you guys. Oh, hello there. Someone else is joining our stream. That's nice. So I wanted to ask our artists about your impressions. How do you feel that after all these months working on this project, you can finally see it in action? Did you expect such a quick start? And what other impressions you have? Maybe Matt, would you like to start? Matt and your company.
Yeah, hi everybody. This is little Bruce here.
Hi,
Yeah,
Bruce.
it's incredible to see it all taking shape and happening so quickly. Like the planning for this started quite a long time ago, And I was originally talking to quite a few botanists at Kew Gardens in London because I'm doing an exhibition there later this year. And there were a lot of conversations about how the breeding practice works and how to best exploit it. And I was a little bit nervous because I knew pretty much from the off that we're going to be breaking certain laws that happen out there in the natural world. And there was a question of how these like botanical purists were going to take that. But surprisingly, they seem quite open to the idea of doing things that are not possible and having certain like flower phenomena that doesn't occur in the real world happening within this system that we were going to build. So that was a relief because obviously we are in a project where you can jump species and you can breed between different flower species, something that
which is never happening in nature.
And also there's a lot of properties such as the ghost or the ultraviolet, things that don't really occur in the natural world, and they're all things that either I've done in the past or ideas that Danil had come up with, and they seem to have really flourish. Right, there seems to be some of the rarest ones, some of the most prized ones, those qualities that don't appear in the real world. So I'm glad that they were introduced. I'm just very excited to see it happening because the whole process is so mysterious. This evolution of these flowers that live online, they're being generated as people are breeding them, and it mirrors in a spooky way what happens in the natural world with these breeding of plants, this unexpected resulting bloom which comes from the parenting of two different flowers, and then you get this strange other flower that emerges. Such a weird and mystical occurrence, and here it is happening within within the parameters of this project. So I'm very excited and very moved to see it all coming to life, to see all collectors breathing life into their flowers and into the entire collection.
Yeah, we're also very excited. And before, Danil, you maybe share with us your impressions, I wanted to remind our community that at any time you can send us questions here in Restream or in Discord or YouTube, wherever you're watching us, and we will answer to all of them during the stream. So, Danil, how do you feel about it taking off so quickly?
Relieved, I think. I'm not sure. The thing is, you said exactly the same words Andy, who is CEO of Snark.Art, told me about crystals. We didn't expect that to happen. Well, guys, I did expect. I did my best. I mean, otherwise, why would I spend almost a year of my life working on it? Of course, I did expect that someone will come and for sure, I'm relieved that so many people like the mechanics and tried to. I think like how many we have more than 2,000 iterations.
Last time I checked, it
Yeah.
was 2,436 readings, but it was a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, and 4 days from like of fifth day today, right? So that's a lot, and still like they're in. What I didn't expect is how it's distributed across owners. So there are
So
only,
quickly,
I
you
think,
mean?
500 flowers been in generation 2 or higher, but they created like this more than 2,000. So it's still like only 20%, and the rest of the community still sleeps on it. Hopefully, it will change in coming days. If not, well, the ones who are in a breeding game, they have large pool of these virgin flowers they can pull and try to like new interesting iterations of breeding.
But still, like we hope everyone can spread the word and invite
For
our
sure,
to
yeah. I mean,
join because
it's something we obviously like marketing team doing and will do, but the support of community is equally, I think, important. So if you're into mood of sharing whatever you come with your beautiful flower in Twitter, feel free, and yeah, it will help and benefit the whole community, not only us as creators. What I find really exciting about this process that people make conscious decisions, because before, like while I was working on the collection, I obviously did hundreds of tests, but it was random tests, right? To just check how the system work, and now I see like en masse almost 500 flowers being breeded, but people have aesthetic feelings, have goals, and that's why it's not random anymore. And
Yeah, I think they're
that's
sharing
why
some rules
it
they
creates
found.
like super interesting results, because it's not random results. It's a personality behind the scenes. So they do conscious decision. They want to have, I don't know, full black. And I seen this orchid this morning. It's like full black orchid, and it's on generation 13 or something. So it took really a long time, and it's only the generation, accepted generation. I have no idea how many
many
attempts
tries.
were there in between. So this person clearly had a goal and just walked to it. So it's super interesting to see. And I like every morning I open OpenSea, do like sort by rarest, and every single morning I'm surprised with
To
like
see different.
first couple hundred. They're so interesting, so unique. So I'm really excited to see what people are making.
Yeah, that is true. These are like true gardeners trying to get something they want and something they imagine. That is so exciting. Vlad, how do you feel about it? Because it was such a complex thing to actually implement, and
Oh
so
yeah.
much, such a headache. Like, how do you feel about it now?
Yeah, I would relate to Danil's word regarding feeling of
Release.
relief. Yeah, because
Release.
it feels a bit like launching a rocket in the space, while it's not in any way comparable in complexity. Still, the mechanism is the same. You leave a thing, and now it flies on its own, and you keep your fingers crossed that nothing breaks like majorly. Happily for dev team, like we had a lot of problems, but they were minor things, and in general everything working as intended. So I'm kind of happy and like relieved that everything works well. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
feeling.
I totally understand you. So, can we maybe ask you to share your screen and actually show how it works? And if there's still people who didn't start reading, they can, get to know the mechanics better.
Yes, yes, of
With your
course. Wait a sec. I will try to understand how to do that.
There's a button
Yeah,
right under the screen.
yeah, 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 yeah,
You just
yeah,
push it. It's
yeah.
nice that
If you
it's
haven't
me
seen it
explaining
yet,
to Vlad how to share the screen.
No, no, I love this conversation.
How to share my screen? Yeah. Do you see, guys, my screen? Because I don't. I think somebody has to approve it.
Okay, we can see your screen. Yeah.
Yeah, so
By the way,
the
did
uh-huh.
you pick any flower from Danil or Matt to breed with, or what are you gonna breed with?
If you have any like ideas, you're welcome to share. But I plan to breed with those two beauties that I have found.
Oh, that
I don't
looks
know who the
cool.
owner of those. This one has a really like high rarity on OpenSea,
Uh-huh.
so I would breed for like rarity aspect.
Uh-huh.
And this one, it has like really low owner's fee, so probably the owner didn't bother to change it, but it just looks amazing because it has two ghosts inside it.
Wow, it looks
So
so cool.
yeah, I will try to breed those. Yeah,
it's
so like
definitely better than mine. I haven't touched my flowers yet. I'm still waiting for all the traits to be discovered independently by community. So I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't want them to feel that I was cheating, because obviously, I mean, I created the rules. I
Yeah,
know
you know
how it
what to do,
works.
what
Yeah.
exactly to do.
So I'm just waiting passionately for for you guys to discover everything.
Not too long, not too long.
Well, it feels like I don't know. It's
Like tomorrow or maybe
yeah,
after
something
tomorrow,
like
really,
that.
like 3 days.
I mean, the neutral color haven't happened in any main genes yet, so it's in
But it is in
shadow.
shadows.
Yeah, so there is a chance. And something else. Oh, and I think one more material haven't been discovered yet, like anywhere. But
I
let's
actually think it has, but okay,
really
let's not. Yeah. Okay.
maybe.
Okay, yeah, shall we proceed with breeding?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so usually we start with let's start from the beginning. We start
Mhm.
with OG.Art. We log in. Anyone can check the wallet contents, and here you can see two of beauties that I have minted and bred before. So yeah, I will start breeding with this flower. Here I found another flower which has ID 1000 something. So yeah, you just press breed, and here you can enter in this choose parent B screen. You need to enter ID of the flower. Yeah, let's check. Yeah, I think it's the one. You can compare traits between those flowers, main and shadow, because different breeders can have different strategies around that. Yeah, you can see the one on the right is really way more advanced and has rare traits compared to mine. Here is a choice between if you want to do everything on chain or save some gas fees. Of course, everybody would love to save. Me especially would love to save some money because the difference is really huge. Yeah, and we start breeding. After that, I can see probably you can't, but there is a MetaMask notification which asks for a confirmation from my wallet. Right now, the gas is a bit higher than usual. It's like 40, but we will breed anyway. But sometimes you can wait for like 20 gas, which will decrease the price of breeding like 2 times. So if you're conscious about that, it's better to wait some time. But yeah, I will breed it. I press confirm in my MetaMask, and you can see that the transaction is happening right now. Blockchain magic is ongoing process. So yeah, transaction is sent to Ethereum blockchain because we confirm everything on chain. And yeah, I'm waiting for the confirmation. Yeah, and after that, yeah, our backend systems have caught transaction, and we are waiting for rendering results in like probably 15 to 60 minutes, depending on load. We will have update of the NFT preview of it. And if I like it, I can accept. And if I don't, then I can cancel it and breed once again. So that
How
is
did
like
you get number one, Vlad? I'm so jealous. I have something like 1,000 something 200 blah blah
You
blah.
know.
but it's not the first. The
Some
0-1
connections maybe in the dev team. I don't know.
0 went to
I
Andy.
feel someone cheated.
Yeah. So sorry for that. Shall we breed once again, or is it enough? Because like the process will be the same.
Oh, and if you breed once again, will it, make it slower for the first flower to be
No,
born?
we have like about 100 machines that can process all the rendering process, so we do it in parallel. So
Okay,
it
why
won't.
not? Let's breed again, and meanwhile keep talking and discussing what's happening, and invite our community to ask questions. And I wanted to ask Matt, did you try breeding yourself?
No, for similar reasons to Danil, it might seem a little bit like insider trading if I'm suddenly like kind of exposing all of the traits that nobody else knows about, and mysteriously Danil and I are just like bing, 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 getting all these new traits, and they're emerging with our flowers. It seemed that might be
So you're also waiting for
deemed a little unfair, yeah. Plus the fact that as soon as the breeding started, I was on an airplane with my two small kids out to this little Greek island. And when I do it, I would like to have quite a lot of time to look through all of the 2,500 have a look and be very careful about my choices, be quite strategic. At least this is how I'd like to think I'll behave when I do start breeding. I'm back in, I've got another day and a half here, then I'm back in London. And that's the time when I hope all the traits are going to be discovered and it's time for me to dive in.
Yeah, yeah.
To it very
Sounds
much.
like a plan. By the way, I wanted to remind to those who didn't start breed, if there are any among our viewers, that your first breeding with the for each flower is we don't take any fees on our side, and if you're breeding between your two flowers, it's free. So really worth trying. And
Well, it's not free. You still have to pay gas, but
yeah,
we cannot do anything about it because it's like an on-chain interaction, and you have to pay the network basically.
right,
But we don't profit anyhow on first. It's
right.
it's actually like quite opposite. We have to pay for rendering anyway, so we are paying you to do this thing.
Right, right, right. Thank you for these details. And there's one question I see here in Restream. How much time the community have to breed? Like, is there a deadline?
It's an excellent
It's a tricky
question, which
question.
for some reason we haven't answered even within the team.
To
For
ourselves, yeah, we don't
yeah,
have.
so it's I mean, I cannot give you the answer. I can give you my opinion,
Yeah,
and
please do.
I'm sure we internally should finalize, decide on it, and make it official. What I think it should be, maybe we cannot do it indefinitely, right? Because like hardware changes, software changes, so keep up everything for infinite amount of time, it's unreasonable. But if we look back in like crystals over there, we didn't have platform access to platform, so it was a render farm, separate one. We had to rent it, and it was extremely costly to us. It's really expensive, so that's why we decided to have this 100 days. Now, with a platform, with cloud rendering, all this beautiful technology Vlad's team developed for us as artists, we actually have a choice. Okay, it shouldn't be like 100 days. It shouldn't be limited like that, but it shouldn't be infinite too.
Forever.
So
Yeah.
my feeling was to do 100 days as it's nothing like magic about this number. It's just what we did before, and community seems to like it.
Mhm.
But this time we could extend it. So my proposition was to do a vote between owners, and if there is a quorum met and people are for it, we can extend for, I don't know, additional 100 days and do it while people are interested in breeding, continue extending it. Because
Mhm.
there is downside. I mean, aside from technical thing, if you breed your flower and you spend significant amount of time and your resources, obviously you want to if
Yeah,
you
to
get
protect it.
rank number 1, number 10, you want to freeze it. Like, I
Oh,
understand that because you want this flower
to
to
keep
be the
your
best
position.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand this feeling, but there is opposite thing that first of all, 2,000 flowers haven't been changed yet. Hopefully, they will
Mhm.
do something. But we've seen it with crystals that after you freeze the collection, the dynamics completely changes, and people who come after, because like obviously not everyone knows about the collection,
Mhm.
people may miss it and learn about it like next year, for example, or
Mhm.
like in 5 months, and the first thing they ask, like, could I grow it? Will it change? Is it still
Yeah.
dynamic?
Yeah, they want
And
to
everyone
play.
says like,
Yeah.
well, no, you are too late. And for some it's not a big deal, they just want a beautiful thing someone created for
Mhm.
them, so they are okay with frozen thing. But most newcomers want to try like what makes the collection so different.
Yeah.
And that's why keeping it like growth
Longer makes also
changing
sense.
open for longer makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing to answer, and that's probably why we postponed it for so long. But definitely we
Matt,
should.
what do you think about it? Do you have any strong ideas on the time to keep it active?
I think everything that Daniel makes sense. Let's keep it open. Let's have 100 days in the back of our minds. And then at that point, or shortly before then, reach out, find out what people are thinking. And if there's a real desire amongst the community to have it running longer, then consider that as an option.
Maybe even have a poll or something, like make people decide.
We have this DAO, have this mechanics for like every owner flower have a vote.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do something like that.
And I guess it should be a significant amount of collectors making that decision, but then we have to
that's
what is a significant amount? Is it 3? Is it 30? Is it 300? It's a tricky decision to establish.
The one who has number 1 token probably should make a decision, right?
Vlad, there's a question, and I think it goes to you. How can we see the rarity of the flower? And actually, Danil was speaking about rarity too now. So how can we actually check it?
Yeah, I can take on that, and Danil maybe add something. We haven't added any official rarity. Isaac, can you share my screen so audience can see?
Again, you can click on the button and then it works.
Yeah, but here, like, I don't. Anyway, yeah. So we didn't implement any like rarity rank on our website as we did before with Rarity Sniper and OG Crystals. But we see how OpenSea treats rarity with their open rarity ranking, and I think it works pretty nice for this collection. And here, like, if you open the collection, you can sort tokens, and if you select most rare, it will sort by ranking. For example, this is number 1, this is number 2, and yeah, from the token you can also go to OG.Art website if you're interested in breeding, and you can check the owner fees, maybe find better deals for breeding. Yeah, and also on like each token page, for example, if you go, I don't know, from price or for a specific trade, here you can see this number 31. It gives again a ranking by open rarity. It's like open standard by OpenSea, and yeah, I think it's doing pretty good. So yeah, you can use
it would be better, like, but unfortunately we don't have any control on the scene. So if you're familiar how Rarity Sniper and basically any other rarity tool works, they give us as collector owners a way to tweak weights. So you may say like this particular trait means more and should have like, I don't know, X 100 to the value, and this doesn't add much value, so you can tweak it. And it actually makes sense because the way you create it, for example, in this particular collection, we have main and shadow traits, right? And shadow are important, but not important as main, because they can affect the look only if the swap happens, and the probability is quite low, meaning that main traits are so much more valuable than the shadow ones.
So you mean inheritance is more probable than swapping, like to inherit a scene trait?
I will not give you any numbers, but at least let's say the shadow is way less important than main.
Okay.
And if I had a choice, I would tweak the parameters of open rarity if they would allow us, but they don't. So if I could change something, I would say, well, shadow should be X amount times less valuable for ranking compared to main. But unfortunately, we don't have this choice. But still, it's better than nothing. And the nice thing about open rarity, it's dynamic, because I mean, maybe things changed, but the last time we contacted with Rarity Sniper, it was back when we launched Life in Our Minds, and it still didn't support live updates. So you have to and with crystals, it was honestly ridiculous. I have to every single week ask them in person, just like, guys, could you please do a favor for us and update the rarity, because like crystals are changing and rarity is not. So we decided not to go with road with Life in Our Minds, and luckily for Heterosis, now there is this open rank, and it works quite nice. As I said, I would tweak it if I had a choice, but even as it is with default settings, if you check like first few hundred of flowers sorted by rarity, that's really unique. So ranking works.
And
but,
also, also, by the way, something that I actually use for our content purposes is when you open the collection page and go through the traits, like species, for example, you can actually see how many flowers with these traits are, and you can find the rarest, the flowers with the rarest trait. You can see which traits are rarer than the others among species. I don't know, skin mix, which skin mix is the rarest, which color is the rarest, and so on. So we have several more questions, and I think
I have another thing. Yeah, the first result is ready, so we can share if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's see it. And
can you please enable my screen again? Yes, because please. I cannot do that.
Yeah, just one sec.
Yeah, so it happened faster than I expected, and here we have like information that we got a new generation. I can see my lovely OG crystals material and ghost material as well. So it inherited some rare traits.
And also, for anyone, I've seen questions in a Discord before, so people weren't aware what this green color means. So could you please?
Sure.
It's an important thing, and it actually helps a lot with breeding.
Yeah. This green color, it means a difference between parent A, which will inherit properties, and like a child. So the difference between upcoming generation and previous generation of parent A.
So basically, what has changed in your flower since you press the breed button?
And if you want to dive deeper and try to understand like what rules were affected your hybrid, you can move your mouse over and you can check like results of.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You can see traits of parent A and parent B, and try to understand like what brought. For example, here you can see xoids in parent B. So my new flower adopted this trait.
And actually, OG crystals is interesting moment here, because if you can you mouse over it, please?
Yeah.
So if you see, technically, it should have inherited either natural or rainbow, how the inherit mechanics work. But in fact, it's OG crystals, and that's what we call a mutation. So hopefully everything works right, and Vlad actually have crystal in his wallet.
I do.
But yeah, that's the thing with collab traits. So if you have these supported collections, that's the beauty which gave it this property. So if you have this specific NFTs from specific supported collections, the mutation could happen, and OG crystals are a bit special for me, for us, because it's our Genesis project. So that's why this mutation happens in skin. So it's a material. But for the rest, it's like 20 something plus supported collections, and it could happen in mix So you can have, I don't know, currently the mix is H, but you see this shadow trait from mix is XOID. So someone had it. Oh, so parent B had it. So someone actually get it through this collab mutation, and now Vlad had the chance and missed it for inherited it. So it's two mechanics how we can get this rare traits, because xoids and crystals are a bit easier to get, because I mean, if you have a crystal, it gives you this special ability for giving you crystal, or if you have special properties inside the crystal, like xoid property, so you don't even need to have a xoid or bake. It's for like CryptoPunk and something else in Mibits, right? But there are more difficult to get things. My guess, the hardest to get will be mutant apes, because they are not in OG crystals, but they have the highest price of all support collections. So it might be the most rare trait. And the way you get it, it's either through having this mutant, for example, and doing the few breeds, because you have to have this token, but it's not guaranteed. It's probability based. But if it's in the same wallet, after a few breeds, you may get it. And after that, someone could inherit it from you. And well, you should raise your owner fee, I think, if you got something super rare. So people will have to chase it.
Cool.
Oh,
We have
yeah.
some more questions.
Shall we proceed?
Let's
Yeah,
make the
I think.
decision.
Yeah,
Show us the previous ones again. Can we see the previous ones again? The flower, I mean, yeah.
You
What
mean
we had?
the one with previous
Yeah.
generation?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was it.
Oh, I think it looks cooler with the OG crystal.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Daniel did his job. Yeah, I think I will keep it if there are no objections. Yeah, again, you can see here ecosystem fee, because we have to cover render costs and the owner fee, which is pretty low for this combination of genes to my taste. Yeah, and I will press skip.
One thing about the owner fee to keep in mind, we had these questions like rendering and breeding takes some time, and what if someone changes his owner fee while you already breeding? So the answer is it doesn't matter, because the moment you press breed button, at that moment the current fee is saved within the transaction. So even like if you started and it was 0.01 and someone changed it after the moment you breed, you still have the owner fee that was there the moment you start breeding. So don't worry.
And there's another question, almost the same. Like if while you are breeding with this flower, the owner of the parent bee flower changed and bred his flower, will you, like, with which generation will you be breeding?
The current generation at the moment the breeding started, because
Like when I push the button, the system reads
it's actually stores DNA of I think the other parent and the owner fee and maybe something else. Vlad will be better person.
Yeah, you're pretty correct.
Yeah, so it stores within the transaction, and that's why the start have a cost, because we have to save something on chain. And
answering the question, the upcoming question about NFT collections, we also store these when you start breeding. Sorry, Daniel.
What do you mean? I didn't quite get
like
this one.
At the beginning, we store DNAs of parents, parent B specifically. We store owner fee, and we store NFTs you owned in the beginning. Because then you can move and do anything else.
Yeah, like everything, the system reads what's going on the moment you push the button. And if anything changes afterwards, it doesn't affect the breeding.
That's correct.
Okay, so I don't think we will actually see the full version of it, because it takes a couple of hours, right?
Yeah.
It depends, but between an hour and 2
Yeah.
usually, because
And-
it's not like a constant render time per frame. It's the more petals you have, the more like light have to travel, the longer it takes. And some materials, again, if you have something like non-transparent, I don't know, like full gold, will render so much faster because light just bounce out the first petal, and that's it. It's so much faster. And for example, the worst case scenario will be having, I don't know, dahlia or water lily with ghost and OG crystal, for example. In this case, it has like many petals, transparent materials, and actually 2 materials. It has to calculate both each time because there is a mix of them. So that's where we getting closer to a couple hours.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but it's a technical thing. Like you couldn't render it faster than that.
Yeah.
It's how it is.
Wow. And I think one more thing that is important to mention regarding the reading mechanics is that all the notifications come to your email. So if you want to get them, do go to your profile and enter an email you want to get the notifications that the preview is ready or the full random is ready, or you can change the price and everything. So another question we have, and I'm very interested to hear what you have to answer to this one. Can we potentially extend after 100 days of breeding and add new traits, like do more collabs with additional partners, or maybe even being able to evolve into a few new flowers that you design?
Okay, so first part is easy, like relatively easy. Adding new partner collections, it's mostly on Vlad's side because he probably will have to upgrade contract, but it's upgradable. So
Yep.
it's technically doable. And on my side, it's just plugging in a few more textures. Basically,
But
that's
yeah,
how
we know
patterns work.
technically it's possible, but not from the
Yeah, well, I
from the
mean,
perception point of view.
this is the easiest thing to upgrade, like and add to the collection. Adding new materials will be more problematic. There is some like technical limitations on what.
You mean adding a new species would be easy, or
No, patterns, the easiest
patterns
thing.
is easy?
Materials, second, still doable. Adding new species, guys, it's like couple months of work, to be honest. Like it takes long time. It's not an easy task, unfortunately, because Matt selected actual real flowers, not like something we imagined. uh, Matching the behavior, making the simulation work, matching all these little things. And the worst thing is it has to work with any data you give it. That's and it means a lot of testing, because create a flower and make just one, it will take like 3 days, like a week maybe. It's relatively easy, especially if you already have a 7 made and ready, so you know the like workflow. But then making it work without any glitches, like penetrations or whatever, something stuck in the geometry and just broke the illusion of being real and animated, that part takes ridiculously long time. So maybe, I don't know, I definitely cannot promise that. New species is the thing which will be really hard to add, and I would save it for like version 2, maybe like Heterosis version 2, not just 1.1. But patterns, materials, yeah, doable. And I understand it's actually a good thing, because it might bring new people from new communities if they are interested to have they like what they already connected to, if they, I don't know, from Doodles or whatever, zombie club, like who have zombies. I don't know.
Yeah, some other.
Yeah, they want to bring to get into Heterosis and bring their heritage with them. Well, why not? It's definitely doable.
Okay, and I wonder, Matt, what you think about it. Like, first of all, I wanted to ask you why you pick those 7 species, and how do you feel about adding more traits to it?
I'm totally open to more traits. Bring it on. And the choice was really down to trying to select the flowers which were the most charismatic. Very wide range of choice out there in terms of the flowers that we could potentially pick, but we were limited in a way by flowers that needed to grow almost exclusively on like a singular stem. A lot of flowers grow on like kind of bushes, so you get hundreds of flowers very close together.
Mhm.
And as we have this centralized aspect of the project, we're going to walk into this virtual environment and you can see the flowers growing. We wanted to be able to differentiate between one flower and another flower. So having a flower on a single stem really helped us isolate one flower from the next.
Mhm.
Plus, a lot of flowers are very small. I mean, these days we see most of the flowers like online in pictures, photographs, reproductions. So yeah, they look great, but they're like this big. We needed flowers which were kind of, about the size of a human hand, something that when you walked into our virtual environment and navigated your way through it, you could pretty easily see what that flower was and walk around it. And it was like a volume that you could comprehend and see quite easily. So those limitations, plus the fact that we needed to have charismatic flowers, the ones that really sang. And I think that the 7 that we chose were quite good examples of flowers with good geometry and a good range as well. I got into a bit of trouble with Danil earlier on. It's like, no, we can't do that. This amaryllis that you're proposing is too similar to the lily in terms of the geometry of the petals. Let's go for something that's a little bit more dynamic and different from the other flowers in the collection.
I see. Wow.
I mean, if the collection floor price will be 10 Ether, guys, I promise you, I make 5 more. Like, not a big deal, for sure.
So,
I'd like to say
community, it's up to you to make it happen.
there's an okay moment to say just a little something about background of the project and the history of like flower breeding. Back in Holland in the 17th century, the tulip that everybody was going crazy about was this flower that was the tulip which was called the feathered and flamed tulip, and it's the one that we're all familiar with. It's kind of like a white tulip, and it has this kind of jaggedy red flame going up the side. Bit of the kind of thing that you see on some like American like high performance sports cars. This is the one that everybody wanted, but they couldn't work out how to get it, and they tried everything. They tried planting it in the dark part of the garden, the bright part of the garden, the wet part of the garden, using various fertilizers, trying millions of different breeding techniques to get this flamed and feathered appearance of the tulip. And it was only in the early 20th century when botanists worked out that the reason that this flamed feathering was occurring was because of a virus, the mosaic virus, and basically it was a gene color blocker. So if you had an orange tulip and the tulip had this virus, it would block certain orange pigment from coming into the flower. So some of the tulip remained white, and then you just got this little feathered flamed red stripe where the virus wasn't affecting the pigment coming through. It took a long time to figure out what that was. If we find a virus or some kind of bug in our software, we're pretty confident that Vlad is going to take a little bit shorter than maybe that 300 years to sort out what it was.
Yeah,
for everyone.
that I found
let's
like
put a virus to our collection. Sounds so
we
cool.
work only 1 year a lot. Like, who cares? It's nothing.
But that would be cool to add a virus as a trait. Just I know that Danil has to go soon. So before like until we still have a few minutes, right?
8 to be precise. I'm sorry, guys. I have to be on another meeting at 1. So,
okay. So 8 minutes. We have to actually do several announcements that I promised in the beginning, and ask Danil to share the big announcement with us. So the first one is a bit smaller, but still an important one, is that Nadia Taiga, our curatorial director, will be at NFT New York, which is happening next weekend, and she will give a talk there on the topic what brands can learn from dynamic NFT art collections, which is, I think, a very interesting one. So if you happen to be in New York next weekend, please come and say hi.
It's in a week. This is
Yeah,
so
it's not
close.
this weekend, but
Mm.
the one after that. So Danil, probably you also can jump in.
Well, I'm not huge a fan of crowds, but if someone wants to have a chat with me, have a coffee, ping me, and yeah,
Oh, that's
maybe
so
we can
cool.
arrange
That's
that.
a huge possibility. Cool.
Yeah.
And like the second big announcement we promised is this new mechanic that our development team is now working on and hopefully soon will implement. Danil, will you please tell us about the moon phases?
Oh, I thought you make an announcement and then ask me like.
No, you're making
Okay.
the announcement.
So the thing is, we decided to add a bit more. Like it doesn't change dramatically anything. So
Don't
I
make
don't
it
want.
less. It's super
Well,
cool.
because I feel like people might get scared that we spent 5 days doing this 2000 breeds and now they say like we're changing the mechanics. Calm down. It's not that dramatic, but it's just interesting, cool thing to have. So we decided to add support of the moon, like real moon above us phases, and what it will affect for us for the collection is in each specific moon phase, associated species will have a boost for mutations and swaps. So if, for example, I don't have a table on screen, but let's say for like a new moon and it's tulip time, and for the next 4 or something days while the new moon is happening, your tulips will have a higher, like doubled actually, chances for mutations and swaps. And if you've been waiting for a sign, that's it. That's your sign. And next 4 days will be the
You're
next species
happy.
and go on. So you will be able to have like double the chances for rare things to happen to your species.
Yeah.
Want you this or not?
Love it.
That's a new rule, and the history for that it's actually interesting that we probably at some point have to discuss the greenhouse, which is coming in a coming weeks. But the thing is, there Antoine, who was in charge of developing this thing, said that they implemented real world daytime system, and he actually asked us on one call like, what do you think, what time should be there? And we all decided that well, it should be like real time. If it's London gallery, it should be exactly the same time as in London right now. And after a few weeks it just stayed somewhere like subconscious with me, and I thought, oh, we can work and continue this idea. And it's not only greenhouse has effect from real life, but our flowers are becoming a bit more real and get affected by real world things because they are dynamic, and we can do this on the platform. So now it's a thing, and hopefully in coming days it will be available, as well as some kind of a way for you to actually understand what phase.
There will be a calendar, right, on our website to help you see
Yeah.
which phase and tell.
Yeah, I want to correct a bit because like the function, the mechanics is already there. Just like we yet haven't announced it, but the flowers are affected by moon phases right now.
Already, wow.
Yeah, of
Which
course.
one? What's the species? What's the current species?
I can tell you because we
All
need
of them are.
We need to fix this front end calendar that anyone can check, and yeah, it will be publicly available, like which species are mostly affected right now and which you should breed more actively.
By the way, Matt, is it correct that real flowers are also somehow affected by the moon? It's something that happens in real world, right?
It's a good question, and we did look into this. Daniel, can you remember the answer to this question?
I think I checked
Well, I
and I
mean,
saw
to
that
some
some
degree,
flowers.
all life on our planet is affected by the moon.
Yeah.
The question is to what degree, and probably, I mean, flowers are water-based carbon life, like the same as
Yeah, and
we
also
are,
there are
and
flowers that
all of us are affected.
and there are flowers that bloom at night, so they're connected.
Absolutely, because they're after night-born insects. So insects that are around at night time, they want to attract them so that the insects pollinate the flowers. So there are specific flowers that only flower during the time when the moon comes out, and insects can pollinate.
Yeah. So before we finish, I want to share some comments from the Discord, which I can see. First of all, people do like the idea of virus trade. Secondly, if you do decide to implement more species, people are naming this daffodils. I don't know which one is this. Hyacinths and ranunculus, if it says anything to you. Do you know what is this?
If we were to add something, I think it should be evolved. We can come up with
I'm just joking,
something and select something, add something.
I'm voting for sunflower.
Okay.
I vote for invisible flower. It will be so much easier to implement.
Okay.
What about the rose?
Yeah? Sorry, Matt. What did you say?
The simple rose.
Yeah, we
That was
don't
like
have the rose
from our choice, right?
Guys, I will show you the scene. There is nothing simple about multi-petal flowers, like literally nothing. It's a very complicated thing to do, and the more like real you try to make it, it's just a nightmare because I can go for long time explaining why. But just believe me, it's a very complex task, and it's doable, obviously, but it requires a lot of work and time.
Yeah, and I can only say that this nightmare you're mentioning looks incredibly beautiful and diverse, and hard to stop pushing the button and trying to find new.
That was the whole intention. Just it should feel like magic, right? You don't have to worry about anything. It's just like one button solution, and it constantly creates something interesting and unique. Like that's why it took so much time. Just magic takes time, guys. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. And of course, we will once again announce everything we said here about the moon phases and New York and other stuff on our social media. So thank you and bye.
Thank you. And I can't wait. Guys, there are 2,000 flowers waiting for your attention. Like, if you haven't started, that's the time. And maybe right now gas isn't the best, but in a few hours, hopefully.
And tell your friends to join, because we want more people and more flowers to join. So enjoy it.
Don't be a wallflower.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.